This is Bob Rorlach. I'm the President and CEO here at the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us and welcome to tuning in to our 2018 Candidate Interview Series. At the Chamber, our mission is to serve our members and enhance our community by building business success. Key partners in building that success are our elected officials, and that is why we believe it is important to engage with candidates of where they stand on the business issues. We're excited to have Todd Marks, who is running for County Commission District 7 at large, with us here today. Thank you for joining us, Todd.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. We're going to dive into the questions shortly, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to briefly introduce yourself and in 30 seconds or less, tell us why you are running for office.
So I appreciate you having me. The Chamber is an important stakeholder in our community. And as a local small business owner, I know the importance of creating good jobs and attracting newer and better jobs to the community. I understand the impediment that taxes and regulations can impose on businesses. And that's one of my reasons to run for office. I believe that we need common sense, consistent, conservative, and competent officials to be able to achieve those goals. My goal is to keep your taxes low, keep Hillsborough County affordable, to work with the sheriff to make sure that our children are safe when they're going to school, and just work with the business community in an effort to create economic development that makes Tampa and Hillsborough County a better place to work, live, and raise a family.
Great, good. All right, let's get into our questions. The business community is desperate for a plan to address transportation in Tampa Bay and Hillsborough County. However, the political will from our elected officials has been non-existent. Currently, there is a proposed plan from the Regional Transit Feasibility Study that identified bus rapid transit as the catalyst project and one option, not the only option, to help move the needle. Specifically, do you support the bus rapid transit concept that has been proposed? And if not, what alternative plans would you propose and how would you fund it?
So the bus rapid transit, I think, is part of the solution. As you know, transportation is a complex issue with many moving parts, no pun intended, and we're trying to get them to be as efficient and effective for the delivery of goods and services and folks to the workplace as possible. So the BRT is more of I think it's a $400 million solution instead of a $4 billion solution. Right now, we don't have the funds to do the grander scale projects. So I think that moving individuals from other areas and parts of the county to the workplace and on a rapid manner is a high priority. I think that our contribution to it is $30 million from a county perspective. You have other players that are involved, right? So the state contributes to those funds as well. And that's a whole different issue than the sales tax increase. So of course we need to not just focus on cars, but we have a beautiful port. We have a great international quality airport. We have to deal with walk paths and other ways to get people from A to B. And so I think that the BRT is part of that solution.
Okay, sticking with transportation, there is a grassroots effort to secure enough signatures to get a referendum on the ballot for a sales tax increase to fund transportation and transit in Hillsborough County. Do you support a 1-cent sales tax to fund mass transit and road projects? If not, how do you suggest we pay for many of the transportation needs we have?
Well, what's important to know about my candidacy is that my first instinct is to not raise taxes. I'm going to look for every way possible to have the available funds to meet the needs of the community within our existing budget. I think we need more transparency. I think we need accountability for the government bureaucrats to find out where's the money going. I'm calling for an audit of the county budget so that we know exactly where the funds have been spent before we go and increasing our credit line, so to speak. For example, as a business owner, I don't just ask the bank to increase my credit without first taking a hard look at my expenses. And so I think that's bad policy for the county as well. I know that there are substantial needs that need to be met, but I'm not in favor of increasing taxes to do that.
Okay. Switching gears, Hillsborough County Public Schools have made great strides in recent years to erase its deficit, rank as one of the top large school districts in the country, and increase graduation rates specifically for minority students. It's critical for the business community that our school system is producing talent for tomorrow, but funding remains a challenge. How will you work with the school board and the superintendent to make sure our schools have the resources needed to handle growth in Hillsborough County?
Again, I think that the school board needs to take a hard look at their spending as well. I've seen some of the debate on the campaign trail, and part of it is, you know, some of the crazy spending, and you know, asking for the government to raise taxes each time you have a budget crunch isn't the right way to go. And I do believe that there are some efficiencies and whatnot that could happen. And I do understand that the strain that the resource officers put on the schools, but that's a necessity, and that's a dollar well spent for every dollar that we're doing that. I'm also suggesting other ways to help in that regard by using veterans, which is a great resource in our community, the military community, to help retired police officers or veterans with school resource officers, or enhancing some of those areas. But as far as the overall budget, I think that would be the first conversation, and then get a true look at what the remaining needs are.
Okay. Let's move to baseball. A ballpark in the urban core has the potential to be a commerce driver, much like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Amalie Arena have been. Do you support the Ybor site that has been identified by the county and the Tampa Bay Rays? And if elected, what is your vision for financing a ballpark in Ybor?
So with respect to financing, I think it's very early in the game. I think that the committee that's supporting the relocation is still looking at various financing options, and those options aren't on the table yet. The team has yet to commit to a substantial amount that would be something that I could support in terms of the percentage of what they're asking for. So I think that one of the important things about that project is no matter where you put it or how you finance it, any cost overruns should go back to the team if it is in place, because I've seen projects where the cost overruns were stuck back to the taxpayer, and you know, we should all know what the costs are going to be to expect, and if that's truly what the taxpayers are sold on, then the team should be willing to commit to that. But I do have concerns about given the tax reform and some of the write-offs with the suite expenses and whatnot that are no longer available. You know, I talked to Mike Griffin, who, you know, I said, you know, you got a real challenge on your hand trying to raise money for you know, this project if you don't have that. And I think that, you know, people smarter in tax are working on different ways for write-offs and whatnot. But I think that's an important issue for private financing. So if the community, and I think there is support amongst the business community to financially support it to a certain extent, I believe that the business community will do a good job there. I just want to make sure that all the stakeholders are doing their job. And there is a role for government with respect to infrastructure, you know, surrounding the site and things like that. But I'm not for any sweetheart deals that aren't properly financed, and really taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used directly for the ballpark.
Okay, we're wrapping up on our time. Real quick, can you prioritize what your top 3 issues would be if elected, and where can voters go to learn more about your positions on the issues?
Well, toddmarks.com, TODDMARKS. You can see it in my makeshift signage here. So that's my main site where you can gather more information. But I think that my job would be first customer service, because what matters most from a county commissioner to people are, am I being responsive to your needs? And when you call on me, am I able to get together with you and help you solve your problem, no matter what your involvement is in the community and which type of stakeholder you are. I want to keep government out of your business so that you can grow your business. And I want to hold government accountable with transparent and open, honest budgeting, and making sure that your taxes remain low and Hillsborough County stays affordable.
Great. Thank you for doing this. On behalf of the 1,400 members of the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce and our board of directors, we appreciate your involvement and taking the time to meet with us and your willingness to serve in elected office. So this concludes our candidate interview with Todd Marks.